Hello, how are you guys? I hope all of you are fine. So, I warmly welcome to all of you on my YouTube channel, Slayer Tech. So, our today's topic is economic injury level (IEIL). The smallest number of insects amount of injury that will cause yield losses equal to the insect management cost. The lowest population of insect pests that will cause economic loss. Any level of pest infestations cause injury, but not all levels of injury cause damage. Secondly, plants often tolerate small injury with no apparent damage and sometimes even overcompensate by channeling more energy or resources into growth terminals or fruiting structure. A low level of injury may not cause enough damage to justify the time or expense of pest control operations. But at some point in the growth phase of a pest population, it reaches a point where it begins to cause enough damage to justify the time and expense of control measures. But how does one know when this point is reached? How many ball bevel, for example, does it take to make a cotton farmer hook up his sprayer? To a great extent, the answer depends on two fundamental pieces of economic information: economic injury level, economic threshold, pest density, time, and population at equilibrium. Pest action is equal to taken. Change in pest population density over time. Economic threshold, pest population, insect control. Everything that makes life hard for insects, prevents their increase or spread, and tends to kill them is called insect control. IPM control method. Genetic control, select pest pathogens resistant cultivars, varieties or strains. Biological controls. Beneficial organism insects, bacteria, fungi, nematodes. Cultural control, biosecurity and sanitation. Pro- Protocols training. Physical control. Barriers, squishing pests, wing, vacuum. Chemical control, a last resort, the host of sites. Behavioral control, manipulate the pest behavior phenomenon, traps, pesticides. Legislative control, this is called the legislative control. So IPM, integrated pest management. IPM stands for integrated pest management. IPM is the idea of using several different methods in an integrated way to control pests. IPM incorporates the use of such tools as insect predators, new plant varieties, and recommended farming practices to help control pest populations. Using chemicals such as pesticides is only a small part of the bigger picture. Pest control, action threshold, steps of the IPM processes. Pest identification, pest prevention. Planting, soil preparation, record keeping, chemical control, biological control, cultural control, threshold, monitoring, pest trapping, forecasting, planting, and IPM year. So, principles of insect control. Principle of insect control depends on certain important factors which are biotic biotic potential. Second is environmental resistance. Third is biological equilibrium. Biotic potential, the inherent ability of an organism to reproduce and survive within a given time and under optimum environmental conditions. It takes into account the number of eggs laid per female, young ones produced in each reproduction, sex ratio of the species, number of generations per year, and their general ability to survive under given physical conditions. Biotic potential is divided into reproductive potential, survival potential. Reproductive potential. Reproductive potential is the ability of insect pests to reproduce under given environmental conditions. It takes into consideration the number of eggs laid per female, young ones produced in their life cycle, sex ratio, and number of generations. In a year, it represents the values when the insect species is under ideal conditions. B. Survival potential. Survival potential is the ability of an organism to exist under a particular set of conditions with reference to available food, space, and shelter. Therefore, it represents the place in the scale of environmental resistance at which an organism can exist or survive. Survival potential is further divided into nutritive potential, protective potential. Nutritive nutritive potential is the ability of an organism to utilize the environmental materials for the support of its own metabolism. An organism which has potential power for synthesizing food materials from a few simple compounds have an advantage over those which require food already synthesized. Protective potential. Protective potential is the potential ability of an organism to protect itself against dynamic forces of environment. Individual organisms exhibits various degrees of modification and adaptation for survival. Therefore, adaptability of organisms plays an important role in their protective potential. For example, in cold conditions, insects undergo hibernation for their protection. Second, environmental resistance, the sum total of all the factors in an environment that tends to reduce the rate of insects multiplication. Factors of environmental resistance are either physical factors, biological factors. So our today's topic is finished. Inshallah, we will meet in our next video. Thank you so much, guys. Please follow, share, and subscribe my YouTube channel. Thank you so much.